Hey there, Brett here with Quarter Properties, your Myrtle Beach area real estate expert. And today I wanted to hop on here and just chat with you a little bit about how much it's going to cost for you to sell your home. You know, many of the clients that we work with, they are relocating here from the Northeast, or they're, maybe selling a property in the Poconos that's a second home to get a beach getaway second home. And they want to know, hey, if I sell this current property, what am I going to have left over? What am I going to have to be able to pay cash for that next property? So that's what I want to talk to you about. So in this example, and we're only licensed in South Carolina, so I can't give you, very specific information if you're selling in New York or New Jersey. But in general, the information should apply. But in this situation, you're selling a $500,000 home. You've got a contract for it. Let's say you listed it for $510,000, and now you've got a contract for $500,000. What we do with our folks is we work through a seller net sheet. To basically go through, and we do this when we're actually listing the property. We'll kind of go through what they will get, what they'll take home after their expenses if they sell their home at a certain price. So in this situation, we're going to sell the home for $500,000. Well, unfortunately, you don't get to keep the full $500,000 that you went to contract for. There are some funds that will be taken out of that. First and foremost, you have to pay the real estate agent that listed your home. Typically that is around 5 to 6%, depending on what market you're in. Real estate commissions are definitely negotiable when you're listing your house. And so a lot of times you'll interview 2 or 3 different listing agents. You'll definitely want to ask them what kind of fees they charge. These fees are negotiable, but just know you get what you pay for. In most situations, real estate commissions, they may have different tiers for, hey, we'll do this with virtual tours, or we'll do this with 3D floor plans, or we'll do that, we'll do specific paid advertisings, different types of things, so that will help you get the highest and best dollar for your home. But in general, the average price to list your home is around 5 to 6%. So in this situation, let's say you agree to pay the listing broker 5%. Well, on a $500,000 contract price, that's going to be $25,000. Now, in the vast majority of the situations, that fee does not all go to the broker. Usually they're splitting that with a cooperating brokerage firm that brought the buyer client to your house. But that's the first fee, is going to be the brokerage fee that you pay. After that, here in South Carolina, we have something called a transfer tax or deed stamps. Okay, so this is paid when the property is being moved. It's paid to the county when the property is being moved from one person to the other. I've heard a lot of people that are leaving certain states and relocating here, they pay an exit tax, okay, and it might be capped at, say, $5,000. So this might be that same sort of thing. But here in South Carolina, if you're selling a South Carolina home, that transfer tax is going to be 0.36%. So on a $500,000 home, that would be $1,850 for that home to be transferred to another owner. Okay. After that, you're going to have your attorney fees. For the seller, there's not a whole lot involved. They're just kind of writing up the deed, and they're looking at the settlement statement to make sure the numbers are correct. So that there's not a lot involved. So let's say your attorney fees are $500. Okay. After that, you will have some property tax prorations. So let's say in this example, because property taxes are paid in arrears here in South Carolina, let's say you sell halfway through the year, okay, and your property taxes are $2,200, all right? Well, you will have to give the buyer a credit of $1,100 on the property taxes. So you will be paying them because they will be responsible to pay the full year's bill when it comes out, okay? So when you kind of run through that scenario, $500,000 contract price, you paid your brokerage, you paid your deed stamps, you paid your attorney, you paid your tax prorations, you're left with $471,550. Okay, now, and if your home is fully paid off, there you go. That's your number, all right? But a lot of times people have a mortgage. Let's say you had a $200,000 mortgage. well, then we would have a net amount of $271,550 that we could have to go towards your next purchase. So that's kind of in general the way it works here in South Carolina, and it's going to be pretty applicable wherever you go. But whenever you're meeting with a real estate agent and interviewing them to list your home, ask them to help walk you through a seller net sheet so you'll know what you have left. In some situations, we'll sit down and do these seller net sheets. And you know what? Whatever their end goal is, it just doesn't, the math doesn't math. It doesn't quite work for what they're wanting to do. So we may hold off on selling or look at some alternative options. So when you're interviewing agents to list your home, make sure they walk you through a seller net sheet so you'll know what you'll have to put in the old piggy bank when you're done. Okay. If you like this information, please hit the like button. If you want more interesting tips on the Myrtle Beach area real estate or real estate in general, please subscribe so you can kind of keep up with that. If you click in the description, you'll have some ways we can help you today. We've got the easiest way to shop Myrtle Beach area real estate. We've got a link there where you can browse the latest listings. If you want to keep up with the value of your home, if you're thinking about selling in the next year, you want to keep up with those values, then we've got a link there to help you out. Or if you want to chat, you have some questions, my email address is in there and my phone number. So reach out and we'll be talking to you soon.